Greetings and welcome to the Mount Rushmore podcast. My name is Jeff, and I'm joined as always by my buddies Richard.
Oh, start that over.
No.
Guys. Greetings and welcome to the Mount Rushmore podcast. My name is Jeff, and I'm joined as always by my good buddies Richard.
Hello.
And Michael.
Howdy.
These guys debate and deliberate the most ubiquitous things of a thing. And this week the topic is, I've bought this thing, and 3 months later, I haven't even used it, and it's collecting dust. Something like that?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Oh, okay.
In one.
All right.
Swish.
Okay. And Michael, you chose it?
This is my topic.
Okay.
This felt. There is one thing in particular that I was thinking of that'll be on my choices, but there's a thing that happens when you think you get so jazzed up or so excited to use something or to whatever your purchase is, you think it's going to be so integral in your life, and then you realize, I've never used it, or it didn't work properly, or why do I have this thing, or I can't believe I spent that much money on it. And then you try to re-engage with it, and it doesn't satisfy that itch that you thought it did, and there's like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
There's a very a very great, my favorite episode of Freakonomics, the podcast, was based on this, the idea of when to quit, when to give up. How long have you been engaged in something before it is a
Sunken cost.
It's better for you to stop doing, no matter how much you put into it, and just give up. They talk.
Was this when they were talking about minor league baseball player?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And like someone that was like 33, 34 years old or something that had been playing baseball his entire life, had been trying to get just within the minor league system. And it's like, if you enjoy it, fine, but like you're never going to get that big league shot.
Yeah.
But the idea of like a sunken cost of like, when is it okay for me to give up this thing that I've invested so much money in? And sometimes they're just little things that you're just like, and sometimes they're like big things, little things, but whatever. And they just wind up on the back shelf in spite of your best intentions.
As someone who just moved, not too long, it's been 6 months now, but as someone who moved recently, I kind of rediscovered a lot of things that I was like, I have this.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I never used this. I'm never really going to use this. Do I throw it away?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I spent a lot of money on it, and now I'm kind of stuck with it.
Yeah.
So there is stuff that made the move with us that I know I will never use.
Yeah.
But you just can't get rid of.
Oh,
It's
sure.
not even you can't dump. It's these are things that don't even get to the dump part. They're just with you, and you carry them, and they're just baggage.
Wow. Wow. Okay. This is killing me softly. This one's actually
Uh-oh.
A little too close to home.
I got so
Did we
much of
just
this
break?
stuff. in
Did we
my
just
life.
broke Jeff, and we haven't gotten to our first choice yet.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
How
wow.
exciting!
Okay. Well, Michael chose it, so Richard starts.
All right. So my first choice is the Nintendo Switch.
Oh wow.
We got one of these for the kids last year after the end of school to celebrate the fact that we made it through what we had hoped would be the only school year where they had to do it remotely. Little did we know, suckers. So we went and found a Nintendo Switch, and this is, I don't know if they're still really hard to get or not. This was back when it was really hard to get one, and my wife Sarah found one on a GameStop sale, flash sale or something like that. And she's like, should I get it? Absolutely. We're going to have so much fun with this. And Sarah and the kids loved playing Animal Crossing for about a month. And that Switch is currently sitting on my son's floor. It hasn't been picked up in probably a month.
Wow.
Yeah. This like $500
Yeah.
video game system. I pretty much only use it because you can get the retro NES games
Well,
on there.
Okay.
on my list is the Super Nintendo Classic.
Okay.
Which I got for Christmas a couple years ago. That is the same thing where it's just like I was so jazzed to play Super Metroid. I was so jazzed to play these older school games,
Sure.
and I cannot play a new video game for the
Yeah.
life of me. I
Yeah.
don't know what it's like to play a Switch. I don't know what all of the physical motion. Like I gave up after the GameCube. Like the Wii we have, but it's mostly an Emily thing. The Super Nintendo Classic, I thought, man, that was going to really scratch that itch.
Right.
And then the cord that reaches from like the console to like the controller is just short enough that I can't sit back and enjoy it from like
Oh.
my couch. So I have
Oh.
to sit on like the floor to watch the TV, like almost staring like at a 70-degree angle. And it's just like it just misses the mark by that much. That's like, God,
Yeah.
I cannot play this thing comfortably, and so I don't ever want to play it.
See, I'm kind of the opposite with that, as I've got my Xbox. And mainly I just play my FIFA soccer. And I've just come to realize I've got one game that I'm really happy with. Got a couple other games on the Xbox that are, like a racing game and
Yeah.
some baseball game or there's like a few other things. But I pretty much just play FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be better on the Nintendo Switch than it is on my big TV. So why would I play it on this little handheld thing? In fact, it's portable. But I'm not. Portability has not really been an issue so far over the last year and a half.
Yeah.
So it just has now become something that's plugged in, and at this point, it isn't even plugged in. It's just sitting, lying on the floor, waiting to get stepped on and crushed.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have like these hopes and dreams that at some point, someday, Felix will be like, okay, this is how you can do the controller on your left hand, your right hand, control it, and do the very basic game. And it's like, oh, but we should have got the regular Nintendo Classic for that, so we could play a little bit easier games. But then maybe I'm just underselling my kid's ability to play video games. He just turned 4. So
No, he doesn't. No, unless it's like a Sesame Street game or something.
yeah, he's great with the games on the iPad where he can draw a circle around something. Draw a shape.
Well, what is the problem with this emotion that you're experiencing? Do you perceive there to be something incorrect or counterfeit about your initial enthusiasm, or is it the cost of that?
It's definitely well. I don't know.
Enthusiasm?
Well, the cost thing might be a question for Richard. For me, definitely I thought I would like it because I thought it would scratch an itch and get me back into having some downtime. I have zero downtime. There's no time that I have to play video games. I do not like the people that play video games at night. My good friend Eric, that you know, he works in the video game industry. Kind of on the back end, but like he's also a big video game player. And like, when is this time that these people have to magically play video games?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he doesn't have a kid. He does he's not married. There are no hours in the day where I could spend an hour just playing a video game, where I wouldn't be regretting it, being like, God, I just want to.
You're neglecting something. Yeah.
Well, I just want to
Hang out
sit
with your
down
kid or something.
or just have like a glass of wine and not think about things, or watch like
Yeah.
a Great British Bake Off show that's like I can turn my brain off for a second and not have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
There are those like sometimes like a good Friday night or Saturday night that Emily and I are like, okay, let's play a video game and whatever. But like those are so few and far between that
Right.
it just doesn't equal up to this thing that is basically a dust magnet.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think if you were super rich, you would even have this thought? If you were in another, Michael is very wealthy,
He's well off.
very well off. But if you were extra,
That was my plane that just flew over.
if you had, so if we go out and have a meal in a restaurant or something like that, and it's not the best meal, you don't become really upset. Like if you,
It doesn't bother you.
it doesn't
for
bother you
days
because
later.
you
No,
know
it's
it's
yeah.
not the only meal you're going to have. But if we were impoverished and we'd spent all that money on something that didn't give joy, you'd be pretty bummed out, right? If you were a millionaire, you wouldn't even be thinking about it, right?
No, when you're a millionaire, you don't think about anything. Money doesn't mean anything. Like these are
Yeah.
just costs that are just
Yeah.
there's no concept to what
Yeah.
this stuff means.
Yeah.
It's not like the Super Nintendo Classic, whatever the cost it was, probably 100 and
$100 or
whatever, close to. I doubt it would be $200. It was probably like $99. Like, to be honest,
It's
because
interesting because those things came from two different places.
Richards was much more
the
expensive.
Switch.
Richards was an investment in like that's like a
Yeah,
family thing. Mine was like a frivolous.
The Switch
whatever.
was a thing to unite the family.
Yes.
A warm fire for us all to kind of huddle around. Yours was a thing to rekindle your passion and maybe bridge you into gaming.
I wasn't
in
even.
a more advanced-
No way. I was just to put it out there. I was not looking to. I am not buying a new video game system until my kid is probably like 10.
Yeah.
I'm not getting close to a new video game. I'm scared of it. Like the farthest I go is like the 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle that I can game and I can do a workaround where I don't actually have to do it. But like I'm nowhere close to playing anything that has been released in the last 15 years.
Yeah,
Because I am.
I tried to play. There was a new Legend of Zelda game, and I tried to play it with Vivian, and it just was like, I'm hitting buttons.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to run around and try and find this stone, and then you know how the Zelda games are.
Oh sure.
I mean, it's just ugh.
I think
Too
for
much.
Me,
It was just too much.
I think for me, for the Super Nintendo one that I have, there was a Legend of Zelda game that I never played. And so I was excited to play it. And then it was a game that because I hadn't played it, I had no interest in playing it. I
Oh.
wanted to play the game that I'd played before. I
Right.
wanted to play Legend of Zelda, or I wanted to play Link's Awakening. I wanted to play the game that I fucking can't play now on the Nintendo Wii because, like, the games that I bought and downloaded aren't available anymore,
Oh, jeez.
like through
Oh.
the Wii store.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a gaming system that's now like a decade plus old. So it's
Right.
like whatever, but like it's still like
You would have been better off just going to Game Boy and buying a Super Nintendo, an actual unit.
yes,
for
I
like
could have gone
$60.
Yes, exactly.
And then spent that money on buying cartridges and of the 5 games that you wanted.
All right, Richard, your second.
All right, my second one. During the pandemic and a little bit before that, I started getting into watching disc golf.
What?
Yeah, disc golf. Where you throw
Sure.
a frisbee into a basket.
Yeah, we get it. Where's
Did-
this going?
Did the persons who you were watching know you were lurking behind the shrubbery and
On
observing them? Oh, on
television.
television. Okay.
On YouTube.
All right.
Not just hanging out at the park.
Hoping to see a Sasquatch, and then just saw like losers throwing a frisbee.
And I started watching these professional tournaments. They have coverage of it
Yeah.
every week or every couple of weeks. And it is I might have mentioned this in the Mount Rushmore things about marijuana episode. It is the perfect thing to watch when you're stoned.
Nice. Okay.
Because it's just, there's something happening,
Yeah.
but it's pretty low key and low stress.
Yeah.
And it's just, oh, wow, he just threw that thing 350 feet around 2 trees and got it within 10 feet of the basket. That's amazing. So if you're stoned, it really seems even like more amazing. So I was watching this for a long time, and I was like, you know what? I should try that. That looks like fun, and how hard could it be? So I bought my disc golf, beginner, $30. I got it for Christmas, actually. And for about a year, I didn't do anything with it, partially because of the pandemic and partially because it's weird to go out and do that thing by yourself.
No,
The first
okay.
time if you've never done it before. There is Kennethon State Park, which is not too far away from me, which has a free course that you can go out and play. And a few months ago, I went out with Vivian, because she was like, yeah, I'll go do that, because they play Ultimate Frisbee at their school. And she's like, yeah, I'm not bad at throwing a Frisbee around. So I was like, great, this will be fun. I was so terrible at it. I can't even begin to describe how bad I was at throwing a Frisbee disc and trying to get it to go in the direction that you want it to go.
Yeah.
Especially when you look down and it's like, a football field and a half away, and you're like,
Yeah.
how the hell am I supposed to do this?
Yeah.
And the course is really hilly, so I'm getting done by hole 9. I'm already getting sore and winded. And I went out a second time by myself, actually on my birthday. I was like, oh, this would be a good birthday thing to do. I had taken the day off. It was a work day. It was a weekday. Had one throw where I almost brained somebody from about 50 feet out because the throw almost went sideways. Finished the hole and said, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm not
Uh,
going to torture myself on my birthday trying to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't picked up the disc since.
Legends are born with stories like this.
Yes.
Do you think it's because your brain learned it in a kind of you learned it high, so now your body's doing it high?
Yeah, like my brain is like in a permanent
Yeah.
state of
Yeah.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think it's more that I'm just fat and out of shape and 45.
Well, I often create a future scenario based on a habit or a sport or a hobby that I think I'm going to be this guy,
Right.
and I don't take into account all the skill, the maybe a proclivity that you might need to succeed at it.
When you watch someone on TV doing something, it never is as easy as they make it
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
I know there's like this glass blowing show that Sarah
Oh, yeah,
started
yeah.
watching, this like competitive glass blowing, like reality show.
Yeah.
And these guys are making, guys and gals
The
are
great,
making,
the Great British Blow Off. It's a very different show that you watch on the internet
I
than
think
you
it's
watch
called
on
like
Netflix.
Blown Up or something like that.
Yeah.
It is something like Blown Away. Maybe that's
Uh-huh.
it. And it just looks like they're blowing in, you think about like from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood when they went to go see the glass blowing guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, this could be a fun hobby. It's like if you actually tried to do that, you would die.
Yeah.
You would burn yourself, or you would pass out from a heat stroke,
Mm-hmm.
or just like run out of air in your body to blow. Something bad would happen.
Yeah. For me, I have remorse of the guy that I had planned to be and how quickly that's dashed, with
Sure.
when you buy the electronic keyboard, sit down and plunk away a little bit and go, fuck, I'm just bad at this. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, there would be a lot of being bad at it and then being mediocre at it and then getting yourself to being semi-good at it.
Yeah.
And I think, especially with age, you just sort of reach that point where it's like, am I willing to go out every weekend for the next year
Yeah.
and practice this and work to get better
Mm-hmm.
so I can eventually be mediocre at it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not really worth my time. I'd rather be playing FIFA.
Yeah, that's what kickball was for.
Exactly.
That's a side effect of, I think, our addiction to competence. I want to be good. I don't want to spend all my time feeling dumb and bad at
Right,
something.
do something poorly.
Yeah, this is my free time. I shouldn't feel like shit. Winfield.
So my second is, this is the thing that made me think of it, that made me think of this topic. So, my son Felix was born in 2017. And leading up to Felix being born, I made this great effort to scan, record all of the DVDs. We had a big DVD case, big DVD shelf, get them all recorded onto a digital file, get those all transferred to a Plex server, and had that set up so that we could remove this huge cabinet of media from something that would be in his room, something that would be in the living room, put it in a box downstairs, not have to think about it, but still be able to watch the episodes of Metalocalypse that we wanted to watch
Yeah.
Northern Exposure, watch any Austin Powers movie that we had, watch all of them, Aliens, I just scanned them, burned. I spent hours and hours scanning and cataloging these things. And I set it up to this, thing on a server through a service called Plex. Now, because I'm an idiot, I don't know how technology works. I didn't know that things didn't just stream from this thing that in theory was Wi-Fi enabled.
Right.
It had to go through another computer.
Okay.
I didn't know this for like 3 years. I just had no idea. Like, I didn't understand why this thing didn't work, but it only worked when there was a laptop open in some other room or whatever. No idea. It would work eventually, kind of. Not really. Then I realized, oh, okay. I just don't know what technology is. I don't know what these things are. So, I bought something called Raspberry Pi, which is a computer, which is the size of a deck of cards. And over the course of this, I was like, okay, I need a project while I'm home, working from home during COVID. I'm going to set up a fucking computer for myself. That's going to be this thing that I put right next to the Plex server, or where everything is stored. It's the size of a deck of cards. Bada bing, bada boom. Got the HDMI cables and the thing. Borrowed all this stuff from work. Set it all up. Things like it's going great. And then the fucking Plex server just never turns on. Like the place that the thing that all this stuff is stored on.
Oh God. Oh
like
no.
Just hundreds of hours.
It just ate it.
I don't know. It's just there. It just never turns on. So now in the desk drawer underneath my computer, I have this computer that I spent. It's not that expensive. A Raspberry Pi, whatever.
$35. Yeah.
Like $90 or whatever. With it's just in my drawer collecting dust because whatever happened within those 2 to 3 years, I can't get it back. I don't know. Maybe there is a genius out there that can come to my rescue and restore whatever data is on this thing that I can't even power on, but I can't get there, and it's just like,
maybe if you bought
don't just give up, don't try. That is my lesson.
Maybe if you bought another piece of technology to fix that,
what's that one called?
and then continued.
Is it smaller than a deck of
Yes,
cards? I'll buy that to put next to the deck of card size computer.
Is it like a dice?
Yeah.
But
couple
it's
of
just
dice.
like there's just so much. I remember getting to the point where it's just like, I got it all set up. I'm so excited. I followed all the instructions on the internet properly. I downloaded all the things properly, set it all up, and then it was like plug the thing in, and it was like nothing. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
If I want to watch Northern Exposure now, I got to go down to the garage and dig out the felt-lined box set that Emily had purchased. That's the Northern Exposure one that would love to watch. That's so much. That's the
Too
work.
much effort.
That's the work that I did not want.
Yeah.
And I put in all the work, and now I'm like,
Bring that sucker by next time you come over.
yeah, you'll do it.
I will see.
I love you,
yeah,
Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a
I have in that shed there's a Creality Ender 3 3D printer that I bought for myself.
Oh man!
And
Ooh. Now, this is a choice that kids are plant ours. Have you used it?
Never. The thing has not fucking worked since I
Fuck
got it.
yeah.
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 Fuck
And
yeah.
Before I even turned it on, I found all these user groups that talk about, well, if you bought one of those, you got to upgrade the boozy whatsits. You got to upgrade the platform. You got to upgrade the filament dispenser. You got to
Only a loser would have one that doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got my vanilla, Honda Accord, and I put a spoiler on it, and I put
Jeff is just there
fenders on
trying.
it.
He's trying to do is just print himself a little
Gun
Han
to shoot
Solo
myself.
frozen in carbonite.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
all it is.
That's all he wants in
He
life.
has that little file that's going to print this little thing.
Hundreds of hours spent trying to get that thing to work. After souping it up and voiding the warranty, and then I get just an error message that says too low temperature. Not the temperature is too low, it's too low temperature. Yeah, and on the bulletin boards, they don't know what that means. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
There's before we go to break, there is a great comic, by now unfortunately and disgraced author called Transmetropolitan, and it's set in like the kind of quasi near future. And one of the things that was featured in this comic was a thing called just a maker, which basically you can get low-grade food out of it. You can get anything made out of it. Basically, it's a thing that you can order stuff online. This is from like the not early 90s, but like late 90s, early 2000s,
Yeah.
where this felt like very crazy. Felt like insane, the idea that you could just like order shoes from the thing that you watched on TV because you thought you wanted it, and then
It
your
comes in the
maker
maker.
makes it and whatever. It's weird to live in that reality where people are just like,
Yeah.
oh, this is this fully functional Iron Man armor that I just made through my maker, and like it opens up and you do these things and you're just like, wow, I can't get my computer to work.
Yeah.
I can't get this thing to play DVDs that have just been saved to work. And it's like, I
Right.
feel like like a
Goober.
a stone age Neanderthal. I'm
Right.
smashing things, and I can't. Yeah, it's all terrible.
Yeah, that's where it seems to be an element of vanity. Like I thought I
Yes.
made these wings with wax and feathers, knowing that I could fly to the
I
sun.
really thought I could do it myself, and now I realize I can't do anything.
The difference was Icarus did fly for a
He
little
did
bit.
fly. That's true.
I'm not ever going to attempt to change the oil on my car either. By the
Oh,
way,
no, me
Forget
neither.
that.
Yeah, that's the circle of life. You take that somewhere. That guy gets to have lunch.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, we've been doing this podcast thing for so long, and success came for us so quickly that we've really lost track of what really matters in life, and we've really
Cocaine?
cocaine.
Is that what it
That's
meant?
right.
That's really what matters. in
Yeah.
life.
The brazen hussies who clamor at us all the time when we leave our podcast studio at the stage door. No, absolutely none of that is taking place in our lives. We are three devout family men who love our families. But we also love when you listen to our podcast. So go back, download, rate, and review past episodes, and then suggest future episodes. We would love it. We'd love to have you be in the dialogue on our social media platforms and suggest topics that we could tackle. That'd be super cool.
how about this? How about this? You don't even have any topics out there that you can suggest.
Whoa.
Yeah, idiots.
Losers.
Wow.
Like we've been asking for them, but like
got called out.
you guys are so pathetic.
Zero imagination. Zero creativity.
What are you gonna come back at us?
Show it to me.
Mount Rushmore of
Guns.
baseball cards.
Guns.
Baseball cards might be a good topic.
That's not a bad
Let's write that-
topic.
let's write that
Yeah,
down.
write that down, Michael.
Rushmore baseball cards. 'Cause I got a good one.
And scene. Prove us wrong. See, that was just a taunt. That was a schoolyard taunt.
Basic psychology.
Yeah, basic psychology. Richard, what is your third?
All right, so for my birthday this year,
Happy
I-
birthday,
Is this the disc golf story again?
No, it is
Okay,
not.
okay.
Well, I was stoned, so maybe I may be repeating myself. No, I got a couple of gift cards to Barnes and Noble,
Oh.
and it's just like the Barnes and
He got
Noble
it to
gift card.
He got to
Yeah.
Barnes or Noble.
Barnes.
You
The Barnes and
you gotta
Noble
choose.
The Barnes and Noble gift card is basically like I could have got you an Amazon card,
Yeah, that'd be
but
too
instead
easy.
books.
Yeah.
No, I appreciated the gift. So the main thing that I got was this really kind of cool Crosley, like old school vintage. It looks like a 50s radio,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you can hook it up to your Bluetooth. It's like a big speaker.
Yeah.
It's really neat, and I can play all my music on it while I'm washing dishes and crap like that.
I've got something just like that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So
I thought I was old fart. You guys have this old prairie home companion who rinky-dinky-doo, rinky-dinky-doo.
I only use it to play Al Jolson.
I'll
records.
just
Hello, my baby. Hello.
yes.
So I had about, I don't know, $25 left over on the gift cards after I'd bought it. And I saw this book. I was just like, fuck, what am I going to get? I guess I should get a book because they don't have a ton of like non-book stuff. And I got this book. It's called Inverting the Pyramid. It's about the history of soccer tactics. And you know me, I love soccer. And I thought to myself,
It's no disc golf. But
it's not
it'll
disc
do.
golf, but what can you do? And I thought to myself, well, this will be great because I can read this book. It goes all the way back to the starting of soccer, like in the 1800s, about like what formations and how the game was played then, and how that kind of evolved to where it is in modern times. I thought that sounds really fascinating, and if I read this, I'll be a much more well-informed soccer fan. I'll be able to enjoy the game more. It's just like a 600. I got it. It's like a 600-page book. I'm never reading this. 0.9% chance that I will ever read this book, and it is going to. It is going to be a paperweight. It's just what it is, and
Wow.
it was this vain attempt.
Did you start reading it? And
No, it's still
dense?
sitting there.
Oh.
No, I do this with books. I get
Uh-huh.
excited about a book, and then I realize, oh shit, I'm still like halfway through this one book that I'm reading, and then I know I want to read this next book, So why did I buy this 600-page book when I've already got like 4
Yeah.
or 5 books in my queue?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I do this to myself?
I would suggest Daniel Day-Lewis reads that book on audio first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you will you will be transfixed.
So this is a very great pick because it almost I'm going to bridge it into my pick, my
Sure.
my third pick, and it is the weird booze / mixers that you buy for a recipe that you've either had at a restaurant or you read in a book that you've had one time and you're just not going to make it again.
Mm-hmm.
Richard, you got me this.
That cocktail.
You got this
book.
amazing book for me that is right in the middle. It has not moved from the center of our ottoman in the middle of my living room since when you got it for me. It's this. The book is incredible. It pairs an album with some cocktails. So it's like the Smiths, not Strange Way We're Here We Come, but
Louder than bomb.
what
is murder.
we've named every album but the one that is mentioned regardless, and it suggests a cocktail to make to listen to the album in full as like A side and B sides, has 2 cocktails to suggest for all these different albums. It's wonderful. It's perfect. It was literally the perfect gift, but it involves trying to purchase the weird liqueurs. I don't know. Am I buying Fernet Branca?
Mm-hmm.
Am I getting Aquavit? Am I buying a blackberry liqueur? I have all of these booze things that have just sat at the top, and you know that just the place where booze goes when you're not going to drink it is the top back of your fridge. You have stuff that's in front of it. You have here's the Fruit Loops, and here's like the booze that you do drink in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the booze at the back that you're just like, I'm just not getting there again because
There's like a bottle of Remy Martin. Or something
whatever
like
it
that,
is,
yeah.
there is just bottles of booze that, for a while Emily and I were getting like, I'm trying to think of the name of the service. It was called like Shaker and Spoon or Booze Box or something, where they sent you a recipe and they sent you most of the ingredients to make it.
Except for like the actual alcoholic
But you
part.
had to go buy the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And they were great because they're interesting, and you want to be interesting and drink cool cocktails and feel whatever. And then you're like, I've got this giant bottle of absinthe. What the fuck am I doing with, like? And it's just like, and then you go back and you look at it and you literally start like peeling the dust off of it with your fingers, and you're like,
I bet you.
and you're like, inside, that booze is still good. Outside, it looks terrible. It's covered in like
spider webs and shit.
Yeah, but inside, like booze holds on, but you're just like,
But it's just like this idea of you had better like that cocktail you bought this for.
yes.
Because if it's just okay, then you're in that realm where it's like,
You have
I've got
Curacao
all of the stuff for this cocktail. And it's fine, but I'd rather have a glass of wine.
I will tell you, there's only one like crazy weird liqueur that I've ever bought in the last few years that has like held up. It's called Galliano or Galliandro or something like that. It's what you make a Harvey Wallbanger with. It's orange juice and vodka and this like kind of lemony, vanilla-y kind of licorice-y liqueur thing. And I made a cake for Emily last year for her birthday using this, like a Harvey Wallbanger cake. But then you can also make cocktails, and when you're home, working from home, you could make a Harvey Wallbanger in the middle of the day at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and you're just like flying. You're feeling really good. It's the only bottle of like liqueur that we've had that has like
done its job.
been there and gone and been worth it. But all these others.
So you're drinking during the middle of the workday. Do we need to have a talk with you about this, Michael?
No, because you feel good.
Oh, okay. Then you're fine.
And I've been watching like the young ones. So like I'm totally fine. This totally makes sense.
This Plex server is a rubber doorstop that he keeps trying to plug in.
Why won't it work?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
I will tell you, all those little extra side oddity liqueurs and things like that, there's probably a Tom Waits album. that you could mix them all together and it would match that perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay. Richard, your final choice.
All right. I did realize there is a pattern in my choices other than the Nintendo Switch, which was just a kind of a money dump. And it is my attempt to become an expert at something or a mastery of something, and then getting bored or frustrated or whatever with it. So my last one is musical instruments.
Ah, okay.
I kind of collect these, and you mentioned it a little bit with
Yeah.
kind of like the Casio keyboard. About before we had kids, I actually made music, and I had like a little home recording studio and the whole like setup and not Cubase, but
Logic.
Logic
yeah.
or something like that. And I started to, I have a bass guitar, I have a regular guitar, I had a drum machine, used all of that. And then I would get these things like, this song could really use a mandolin. I don't know how to play mandolin, but it can't be that hard.
Yeah.
And I would go to, and invariably I would talk about it, and my lovely wife might get it for me for a present, or I would go and buy one on my own. And maybe I would figure out how to use it for that one song, and then it's in the garage. So I got a mandolin, and I got like this mini lap steel.
Oh, God.
Like the steel guitar, but
Yeah.
it's like the ones, like the smaller ones that sit on your lap. I got one of those.
Wow.
Haven't played them in 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And I vaguely remember how to play mandolin. I have no clue how to play the lap steel anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, but they made the move with me. That's the type of thing that I could have easily have put it on eBay or, Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And at least got $20, $40 for it.
Mm-hmm.
Never going to do that either. Because even that is too much work.
Sure.
That's the thing. It's like, you have to like calculate how much time it's going to take you to get this listing, and then deal with people trying to haggle with you, and then you get somebody, but then they don't show up, and it's like, is all of that really worth the $40 I'm going to make on this thing?
Mm-hmm.
How much is my time worth? It's probably more than that. So that's how you wind up with these things that you don't use, but you don't. It feels like a waste to throw it away, but you're just kind of. But it also feels like too much work to sell it.
Mm-hmm. I have 2 guitars and 2 keyboards sitting in that room that I never play.
You guys should form a band.
form a non-band.
You're right.
I think of them as, so I know the exact feeling. Like I feel just kind of angry that I did this, but I also think of them as works of art too. A musical instrument just looks beautiful
True.
to me. So like, I kind of don't have any remorse for having something that's got a little bit of chrome and some wood, on there. But I know I need to play that damn thing.
I like the way you said wood.
Some wood.
So it would look like very Wooderson right
Yeah.
there.
all right.
I think too, though, also with you have very interesting and artistic kids. So like, I think there could be that hope that like your kid just finds it and picks it up
Yeah.
and just starts to play it, and then to know that your parents had this really cool instrument, and maybe that gets them into something, because your daughter obviously is very talented, a very talented singer, but maybe maybe your son could pick them up. Maybe some stuff could happen.
I have tried to get Vivian to play guitar, and it's sort of like this vague interest in it. And then after about a week, it's like, no, I'm a lousy teacher, or she doesn't have the
To go back to
the moxie
mojo.
for it.
To go back to Metalocalypse, she looks and she's like, "That's a grandpa's guitar," and you're just like, "I don't." I'm done.
All right, Winfield, rippity rap.
My last one is exercise equipment. I have a very specific one that I think I talked about a long time ago.
I think I know what it is.
But it was just, I was more in general. People purchase exercise equipment with such a distinct purpose.
Yeah.
And you purchase everything either on my list or my thoughts about this are things that are going to transform your life that just fall apart. I'm going to make this amazing cocktail, and I'm going to be this cool person that makes amazing cocktails. And this thing, you're going to come over and have dinner, and you're going to have this meal. It's like a restaurant, and then you can't quite get it the same, and then you never have it again. a bunch of years ago, I mean, almost 20 years ago, I bought this dumb thing that you strap to your stomach, like as if you were gonna like have abs because it shocks you, and then it fucking literally shocks you, and
Yeah.
it hurts, and you're like, well, I'm not fucking putting that thing on my
Yeah.
stomach again.
I thought it was going to be the perfect push-up.
Or the perfect push-up, another thing that I bought, which is like you push down and turn it and push it up and whatever. All these little things that you see on infomercials in particular, but I could imagine I would be the same type of person that if I had the space for it, would have bought like some sort of rowing exercise.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. If I had I had the space for the perfect push-up which fit under my couch that I could never look at again. I had the space for the thing that you lather up with like a weird electric jelly and then strap to your stomach and then shock yourself with, and then you push under your couch again. There's so many things.
There's an alternate reality version of you that has a Peloton.
Yes, there's a version of me that has like the perfect gym, whatever, the Bowflex, or all these things that are just like bending around that do things that I'm like, I could do that? Wait a second, that schlum could do that. I could do that.
Push-ups are
When I'm
actually real. The whole shock your stomach thing, that's a weird
I know. I
scammy
told
thing,
this
right?
story about, a few years ago. I think it was on we had an infomercial episode.
Oh, yeah, as seen on TV.
As seen on TV
Okay.
episode. Basically, I was like eating like 3 or 4 donuts, like possibly still drunk the next morning, watching this infomercial for like the perfect for the ab belt, and it was like, I could do that. This is my mouth full of donuts. I could do that one. That's fine. I could do that. Cinnamon roll in my hand and
Yeah.
cruller as well. Just like,
Yeah, that's one of those passive
makes
things
sense to
where
me.
it's just gonna jolt
But I think
you. into-
exercise equipment. Like recently, I helped my dad move some, like this big not a step machine, but like a glide machine.
elliptical.
Elliptical, thank you. And Jocelyn, his girlfriend for a long time, she does it like every fucking day. And
Oh,
she's
yeah.
74 going on 75, and it's just like, God, I'm so pathetic. You know what I could do? I could use this Allen wrench. I could take this apart and move it to the next room for them, though. That's what I can do. I can't get on this every day and
No.
have and do this thing, but I can get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Your exercise is the wrist turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, can I find the right socket wrench? Can I find the right socket wrench extension
Yeah.
to do it? Yeah, I can do that one.
That's your exercise. You're putting some miles on that machine,
Pathetic.
moving it from one area to another. Well, guys, I think this feels like getting to know you.
Oh.
That's what I think is pretty cool about this. There's a lot of regret, too, tied to each one of these.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah. No
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Oh my god.
Well, because I've considered you just perfect, both of you, for so long.
Well, that's true.
I haven't seen a chink in the armor. Can I even say that?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's fine.
Okay. And now you're both chinks. Just one couple just big chinks to me, both of you. Can I say that?
You're
I don't
fine.
think that's okay. Yeah, you're fine.
You're getting close to
Yeah.
not being fine.
But you're still fine.
yeah,
You're
you're fine.
right on the edge of being fine.
Okay, so just because it was so pathetic, the golf that was just funny. You
Disc golf, please, not regular golf.
sorry, disc
Yeah.
golf on your birthday. I imagine it was raining. Maybe it wasn't raining.
It wasn't, but let's pretend because
Okay,
it makes it better
yeah.
visual.
And you pulled? Did you pull a muscle like a?
Oh, I was sore for the next couple of
Okay,
days, yeah.
good. Okay, good. Okay, because it's going to be a success story, the Plex server Raspberry Pi.
Oh,
yeah.
you are a mensch.
Yes,
I will bring this over. I'll bring you the passwords. I'll bring everything
Yes.
and be like, fix it.
make it work. We are going to get your Wings season 3.
I can't wait till the first thing you pull up is like Ninja 3, The Domination. Just you can just watch
Yeah.
Revenge of the Ninja, watch all the shitty ninja movies that I spent hours
Yeah.
scanning.
Yeah. Let's go with exercise equipment because I think a lot of people can relate out there in our listening audience, and let's go. And because I bought one of these for my brother's kids, Nintendo Switch. I hope well, if they don't play with it, doesn't matter.
The hell with them.
Yeah, live, love, laugh. Okay. This has been the Mount Rushmore of The Thing. I, as always, am Jeff.
I'm Richard.
I'm Michael.
We recorded.
Yay.